news.
Ooh, something special came in the mail. 369. This box looks fine. Let's see what we got. Case. AYANEO Geek stickers. AYANEO Pocket Air screen protector. HD tempered film. Some buttons. Some owl. Is that a cat? Looks like an owl, but I guess it's a cat. Thumb grip caps. Probably won't use those. And we have the AYANEO Pocket Air. And through the magic of editing, I will take the shrink wrap off. Whoa! So before we open it up, I just want to comment, I really like the super retro look of this. This is pixely. It has some raised texture to it. It's neat. The whole look of it's very much like 1985. It's obviously based off of the Famicom, which is the Japanese Pretendo. Real gamers, no gamers. What do you think about that, gamer? Ooh. Well, I tell you what, this is kind of a premium unboxing experience if such a thing exists. Oh, I like the color. Right off the bat, I really like the color. It just makes me think of the 80s or the 90s. Grandma's been in the room smoking, and everything has kind of a tint to it. So we got the Pocket Air. I really like the look of that. What else is in here? Yeah. Oh, we have, what's in here? I tell you what, all the packaging and the boxing is just really nice. It's premium. So we got Pocket Air. What are these? Just hint cards. Instruction manual. Okay, keep that to the side. And this looks like a little cartridge almost. This looks like a cassette tape or something. What's in here? Wait a minute. The trick is not to ruin everything. It's the power cord. It's just regular USB-C to USB-C. Now, normally I wouldn't spend any time on cords and instructions, but I just think the aesthetic of this is kind of cool. You could honestly say, like, hey, there's an ink cartridge in here for your printer that has the little spokes on the side of it, and I would say, yeah, that tracks. Let's get to the main shebang. So, please peel off this step mask before use. Okay. It's not super satisfying. Here we go. First impressions. Big old exhaust fan up here. You got your shoulder buttons. Those feel like analog. You got these buttons. I mean, the ergo of this is kind of cool just because it's very streamlined, you know what I mean? You got these switch sticks. They're pretty high. They don't have the same range of motion as, say, the Odin 2, but they are pretty good. They're proud. This D-pad looks okay. These buttons, I gotta tell you right off the bat, the buttons seem a little small. You got a couple Android buttons and a couple AYANEO menu buttons. Your power's over here, your volume up and down. What's on the back? Oh, you got all your information. We got the 6 gig version. I wasn't going to use this for a lot of Switch emulation or high-end stuff, so I figured 6 gigs is good enough for PlayStation 2 and GameCube. Big old fan port on the back. You got your headphone jack on the bottom. What are these? 2 screws, downward firing speakers, and your USB-C, and your big old micro SD card. Ugh. Hey, did you see that? Is there like is that a protector? Or do I got the cap and then I gotta pry this off? Oh. Huh. So it's like, you know, the SIM cards used to have a thing. I guess the SD card goes in there. Huh. Well, we'll find out. Heck, let's go get the SD card. Be right back. Alright, so how does this work? SD card goes here. Yes. The SD card just kind of slots in. That's interesting. Keeps you from figuring out which way it's supposed to go, I guess. And then this just goes in like that. And then click her in. Okay. You press the power button. Let's turn it on. I was thinking about it. AYANEO. Hi there. Let's get started. So this is definitely a very customized Android experience. First, we're going to get the screen protector on. And I want to make sure I really don't screw that up, because it looks like they just sent us the one. There it is. Got all our stickers and everything. But once the screen protector's done, I'm going to set up all the Android jazz, get my updates and everything off camera. All right, that looks clean. Am I missing anything? No. So let's get the screen nice and clean. There we go. What? Did you like that, Pocket Air? Are you trying to communicate with me? Okay. Everyone hold on to your butts. And you know what? You know what? That doesn't look too bad. Whew. I think I did it. It's stressful to do it on camera because it's like I got to make sure it's in frame, and you know I can't take it into the toilet with me and turn the shower on to make sure there's no dust in the air. First hurdle done. Screen protector applied flawlessly. No goof 'em ups. What do you think about that? Well, we're going to get everything installed. Going to get all of our emulators on there, some Daijisho, but we are going to do some testing of the onboard AYANEO emulator front end software they have, and I am going to update everything. So let's update. Let's do some off camera magic. Oh, before we get too far along, the case. Now the case, I feel like it's pretty good. There's a little screen protector flap. I feel like it's repurposed, like it's supposed to hold switch cards, but I guess SD cards go in there, and then these two little MOLLE straps. Fits in there real nice. Here's your AYANEO branding, and your screen is nice and safe. Otherwise, it's just a regular case. Not bad. Now, I tried to set up iSpace, which is like their default front end. It's not great. It's actually somewhat difficult to set up. You have to have Pegasus or Emulation Station metadata, and then you have to put games in the specific folders on the internal storage. And then after that, you can relink or additionally link folders on your SD card. But it's an awful lot of work for just kind of a front end. I like that they tried to include it, but it's not good. Like the Retroid front end is good. This is just like, what's the point? Game Boy Advance on here is really nice because the screen is so wide. There are some bezels, but otherwise it's a very good experience. Oh crap, Earth Demon. That was a near run thing. All your 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit stuff's going to run great on here. You can do 4x, 5x scaling on a lot of stuff. Even PSP, we're at 4x. We're running this at 1080p, and it runs like a dream. Just imagine how many people would be savagely killed watching this race. As Zoo takes his car in. Zero skill. Zero planning. I did it. PSP on here is pretty elite. Everything up to PSP you'll play with super high resolution, whatever shaders you want, whatever. So going forward, we're going to do 3DS, GameCube, PlayStation 2, and a little bit of Switch. So here we go. So pretty much every 3DS game you want is going to run on here at least 2x. Some will play at 3x, some you might have to fiddle, but for the most part, 2x is easily attainable. And they always stutter a little bit at the beginning. That's just how the emulator works. But it smooths out. Whoa! Let's get a fire flower. Okay, we're gonna try this for real. Nope. F it. F it. Anyway, 3DS on here is great. Even if you're bad at the game. So GameCube will run on here. What do we have this at? At 2x, you can get up to 3x for some games. I like to keep it at 2x for a lot of fast-paced games, just so there's not stuttering or anything. JRPGs or stuff that's more slow-paced, you can go to 1080p easy. Oh, geez, bad guys. Wait a minute. Well, I ain't got time for that. Oops. You need to get to the ring, Zoo. I ain't doing too hot. Did I die? No, he's there. There he is. Don't get around it. Well, now you're screwed. It wasn't great, but I did it. You get the idea. GameCube, for the most part, almost all the games will run at least 2x, some at 3x. Pretty good experience with GameCube. For PS2, probably 95% of the library will run at least 2x. Some games will be at 3x. There are some games like Armored Core 3, just doesn't want to run at all, even in native. But for the most part, a lot of your PS2 games are going to run fine. Safety. I got a stud running back. You see his name? It's me. It's Zoo. How about that? Kill the outside linebacker. Uh-oh. Get the heck out of here. Didn't anticipate this level of resistance. You know what I say? If you can't beat him in a baseball bat fight, run them over with your car. This guy's just standing there waiting for it. Most PlayStation 2 games will run at 2x, no problems. There are some exceptions, but it's a pretty good PlayStation 2 machine. Wii performance on here is pretty good too. You can run pretty much everything at least 2x. Whee! Oh, jeez. That was a slow start. Crap. Should have planned that one out better. Ah! Oh, what you gonna do about it? Yeah, Wii plays fine on here. Switch is where things start to get a little disappointing, especially for the price point. Now this has a Dimensity 1200 chip in it. It's not nearly as optimized as the Snapdragon that's in the Odin 2. So Switch performance on this compared to the Odin 2 is pretty poor. You're going to be limited to indie games or low intensity games like Tactics Ogre here. I think these 2.5D games, which are very pretty and very nice and very retro, which is kind of the theme of the channel, these 2.5D games run really well on this hardware that maybe can't do the full 3D rendering of the Switch. And see, even something like this, it starts to stutter a little bit. This is definitely not a good Switch machine, which is disappointing because the Odin 2 is actually a pretty decent Switch machine for the price. Well, what did we learn? We learned that the Pocket Air is, in a vacuum, a really good Android machine. Now, unfortunately, it came out almost at the same time that the Odin 2 launched, and the Odin 2 kind of eats this guy's lunch, which is unfortunate because I bought this. I said, you know what? Maybe it'll be amazing. Maybe it'll be great. And it is. It's good. It's good for what it is. It's just the Odin 2 is also available. And here's where you start to run into trouble. Now this, $300 base. It's a Dimensity 1200 chip. It's got 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of onboard storage. For the same price, I can get an Odin 2 base model, which has better specs. It's got 8 gigs of RAM. It's got a better chip. Well, not necessarily a better chip, but a chip that is much more supported, especially when it comes to higher end Android stuff. I like the ergonomics. Ergonomics are really nice. It's got these RGB effects. You can turn them off. There's not a lot of wiggle room with them. It has this built-in IS-based button that's very similar to what you would see like on a Retroid handheld. You can switch your gaming mode on the fly, turn your fans on, max fan, mute, whatever. You can configure your controller here, you can toggle your analog stuff. It's plenty powerful for everything up to GameCube and PlayStation 2. That higher end emulation is where it really drops off. With the Odin 2, I was able to emulate a lot of Switch games. Maybe they didn't all play great, but I was able to emulate a lot. This, I can open up indie stuff and that's about it, which is a little disappointing, especially considering it's basically the same price as the Odin 2. The next tier up is $380. Now for $380, you can get the same middle tier of the Odin 2. Well, maybe the higher end. No, the higher end is $460. It gives you 12 gigs of RAM, 512 on board. But for the same price, you can get the maxed out Odin 2, which is almost too much. It has like 16 gigs of RAM, and in a vacuum, this would be great. Or in a world where the Odin 2 didn't come out until like Q1 2024, this would be amazing. This would be a great Android handheld. But we are in a world where the Odin 2 is available, and unfortunately, I can't really recommend it, which is a bummer. It's great. I like the colorway. I like the ergonomics. I like a lot of stuff about it. It's just the Odin 2 is better, and I feel like it would be a disservice to you, the viewer, if I tried to smooth things over and said, yeah, it's almost as good, or it's just as good. It's not, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for me because I spent $300 on Indiegogo to get this, and I thought it would be amazing, and I didn't think the Odin would come out. But what are you going to do? I guess this is a pretty short what did we learn, because we learned that this is good on its own, but for the same exact price, you can get an Odin 2, and I would recommend the Odin 2 in almost every situation. Maybe Yuzu or a new Switch emulator will come out that'll support the Dimensity 1200 chip, and then we'll get amazing new Switch emulation, but maybe not. Who knows? Maybe they'll roll out updates to make ISpace a little bit more usable. Maybe they'll lower the price. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you want to see me, fiddle around with this some more. Maybe do a GameCube showcase or a PlayStation 2 showcase. Now, in the moment while you're playing GameCube or PlayStation 2, it's really fun. It's just I can't get out of my head that I could have better for the same price. Let me know what you think. Remember to take care of each other, take care of yourselves, take care of your handhelds, take care of your pets, control the pet population, be nice to your spouse, and hug your kids tonight. Goodbye.